Cypriot Greek is the variety of modern Greek that is spoken by the majority of the Cypriot populace and Greek Cypriot diaspora. It is a markedly divergent variety as it differs from standard modern Greek in its lexicon, phonetics, phonology, morphology, syntax and even pragmatics, not only for historical reasons, but also because of geographical isolation, different settlement patterns, and extensive contact with typologically distinct languages. Classification. Cypriot Greek is not an evolution of ancient Archaico-Cypriot Greek, but derives from Byzantine medieval Greek. It has traditionally been placed in the southeastern group of modern Greek varieties, along with the dialects of the Dodecanization. Though Cypriot Greek tends to be regarded as a dialect by its speakers, it is unintelligible to speakers of standard modern Greek without adequate prior exposure. Greek-speaking Cypriots are diglossic in the vernacular Cypriot Greek and standard modern Greek. Cypriot Greek is itself a dialect continuum with an emerging con. Davy, Ioannou and Amp. Panayiotou argue that diglossia has given way to a post-diglossic continuum, a quasi-continuous spread of overlapping varieties. Phonology. Studies of the phonology of Cypriot Greek are few and tend to examine very specific phenomena, e.g., gemination, glide hardening. A general overview of the phonology of Cypriot Greek has only ever been attempted once, by Newton 1972, but parts of it are now contested. Consonants. Cypriot Greek has geminate and palato-alveolar consonants, which standard modern Greek lacks, as well as a contrast between and, which standard modern Greek also lacks. The table below, adapted from Arvanity 2010, p. 4, depicts the consonantal inventory of Cypriot Greek. Stops, ptck, and affricate t are unaspirated and may be pronounced weakly voiced in fast speech. Ptck are always heavily aspirated and they are never preceded by nasals, with the exception of some alones, e.g., umpu, shampoo, t, and t, are laminal post-alveolars. Ts is pronounced similarly to t, in terms of closure, duration and aspiration. Voiced fricatives, vth, are often pronounced as approximants and they are regularly elided when intervocalic. J is similarly often realized as an approximant in weak positions. The palatal lateral approximant is most often realized as a singleton ageminate lateral or a singleton ageminate fricative, and sometimes as a glide. The circumstances under which all the different variants surface are not very well understood, but appear to be favored in stress syllables and word finally, and before a. Pappas 2009 identifies the following phonological and non-phonological influencing factors: stress, preceding vowel, following vowel, position inside word, and sex, education, region, and time spent living in Greece. Arvanity 2010 notes that speakers of some local varieties, notably that of Larnaca, substitute the geminate fricative for, but Pappas 2009 contests this, saying that is robustly present in the three urban areas of Lefkosia, Lemissos and Larnaca, as well as the rural Kokino-Horia region, especially among teenaged speakers. The innovative pronunciation is not a feature of any local patois, but rather a supra-local feature. The palatal nasal n is produced somewhat longer than other singleton nasals, though not as long as geminates. Z is similarly rather long. The alveolar trill R is the geminate counterpart of the tap R. Palatalization and glide hardening. In analyses that posit a phonemic glide, J, palatals and post-alveolars arise from CJV clusters, namely, the glide is not assimilated, but hardens to an obstruent after PTFV theta th and to after R. At any rate, velous stops and fricatives are in complementary distribution with palatals and post-alveolars before front vowels, EI, that is to say, broadly, KK k are palatalized to either or xx to or and to geminates. There is considerable disagreement on how to classify Cypriot Greek geminates, though they are now generally understood to be geminates proper. Geminates are 1.5 to 2 times longer than singletons, depending primarily on position and stress. Geminates occur both word initially and word medially. Word initial geminates tend to be somewhat longer. Serdan-Ellis and Vanity 2001 have found that, for stops in particular, this lengthening affects both closure duration and VOT. But Davy and Panayoto 2003 claim that stops contrast only in aspiration, and not duration. Armosti 2010 undertook a perceptual study with 30 native speakers of Cypriot Greek, and has found that both closure duration and aspiration provide important cues in distinguishing between the two kinds of stops, but aspiration is slightly more significant. Assimilatory processes. Word final n assimilates with succeeding consonants other than stops and affricates at word boundaries, producing post-lexical geminates. Consequently, geminate-voiced fricatives, though generally not phonemic, do occur as allophones. Below are some examples of geminates to arise from Sandy. Ton Luca, Tau Omicron Nu Lambda Omicron Upsilon Kappa Alpha Lucas Ntar Epsilon Nu Delta Alpha is here. Putin Reza Pi Omicron Upsilon Tau Eta Nu Rho Iota Zeta Alpha for the root. In contrast, singleton stops and affricates do not undergo gemination, but become fully voiced when preceded by a nasal, with the nasal becoming homorganic. This process is not restricted to terminal nasals. Singleton stops and affricates always become voiced following a nasal. Khan Izuman Pura Kappa Alpha Pi Nu Iota Zeta Omicron Upsilon Mu Epsilon Nu Pi Omicron Upsilon Rho Alpha Smoke cigars. Unti Alpha Nu Tau Zeta Alpha Iota even though Tinsari of Ci Tau Eta Nu Kappa Upsilon Rho Iota Alpha Kappa Eta on Sunday. Word final n is altogether elided before geminate stops and consonant clusters. Epiasman FCORA Epsilon Pi Iota Alpha Sigma Alpha Mu Epsilon Nu Phi Kappa Iota Omicron Rho Alpha. Board flowers. Past in CELE Pi Alpha Sigma Tau Eta Nu Kappa Kappa Epsilon Lambda Lambda Epsilon on the head. Like with n, word final per second assimilates to following and producing geminates, as only C alpha sigma sigma omicron nu iota sigma epsilon iota. Let it snow. Lastly, word final per second becomes voiced when followed by a voiced consonant belonging to the same phrase. Tis Malta's tau eta sigma mu alpha lambda tau alpha sigma of Malta. Aeonus Thromu, Alpha Gamma Omega Nu Alpha Sigma Delta Rho Omicron Mu Omicron Upsilon. Race. The vowel Cypriot Greek has a 5-vowel system, a-i-o-u, similar to that of standard modern Greek. Back vowels, i-u, following t, at the end of an utterance are regularly reduced to fricated vowels, and are sometimes elided altogether. In glideless analyses, I may alternate with or e.g. cage, cages, or caluri, caluria, and, like in standard modern Greek, it is pronounced when found between per meter and another vowel that belongs to the same syllable, e.g. 1. Stress. Cypriot Greek has dynamic stress. Both consonants and vowels are longer in stress than in unstressed syllables, and the effect is stronger word initially. There is only one stress per word, and it can fall on any of the last 4 syllables. Stress on the 4th syllable from the end of a word is rare and normally limited to certain verb forms. Because of this possibility, however, when words with anti-penultimate stress are followed by an enclitic in Cypriot Greek, no extra stress is added, e.g. Cypriot Greek tau omicron pi omicron delta eta lambda alpha tau omicron nu omicron upsilon. Standard Modern Greek tau omicron pi omicron delta eta lambda alpha tau omicron mu omicron upsilon. My bicycle. Grammar. An overview of syntactic and morphological differences between Standard Modern Greek and Cypriot Greek can be found in Ioannou, Cypriot and Amp. Kaplan 2011, pp. 568-9. Vocabulary. More loanwords are in everyday use than in Standard Modern Greek. These come from Old French, Italian, Provençal, Turkish and, increasingly, from English. Also, non-Muslim speakers use Muslim Arabic expressions like mu alpha sigma sigma alpha lambda lambda alpha mashallah and iota sigma sigma alpha lambda lambda alpha inshallah. Much of the Cypriot core vocabulary is different to the modern standards, e.g., sigma upsilon nu tau upsilon chi alpha nu omega in addition to mu iota lambda omega I talk, theta omega rho omega instead of beta lambda epsilon pi omega I look, etc. A historically interesting example is the occasional use of archaic pi omicron theta epsilon nu instead of alpha pi omicron upsilon for the interrogative, from where Ethnologue reports that the lexical similarity between Cypriot Greek and Demotic Greek is in the range of 84 to 93%. Orthography. There is no established orthography for Cypriot Greek. Efforts have been made to introduce diacritics to the Greek alphabet to represent palato-alveolar consonants found in Cypriot, but not in Standard Modern Greek, e.g., the combining Aaron, by the authors of the Syntyches lexicographic database at the University of Cyprus. When diacritics are not used, anapathetic iota, often accompanied by the systematic substitution of the preceding consonant letter, may be used to the same effect, e.g., Standard Modern Greek pi alpha nu tau zeta alpha rho iota Cypriot Greek pi alpha nu tau zeta iota alpha rho iota. Standard Modern Greek chi epsilon rho iota Cypriot Greek sigma iota epsilon rho iota. Geminates are represented by two of the same letter, e.g., sigma eta mu epsilon rho alpha. Today, though this may not be done in cases where the spelling would not coincide with Standard Modern Greek's, e.g., sigma eta mu epsilon rho alpha would still be spelled sigma eta mu epsilon rho alpha. In computer-mediated communication, Cypriot Greek, like Standard Modern Greek, is commonly written in the Latin script, and English spelling conventions may be adopted for shared sounds, e.g., sh4. History. Cyprus was cut off from the rest of the Greek-speaking world from the 7th to the 10th century AD due to Arab attacks. It was reintegrated in the Byzantine Empire in 962 to be isolated again in 1191 when it fell to the hands of the Crusaders. These periods of isolation led to the development of various linguistic characteristics distinct from Byzantine Greek. The oldest surviving written works in Cypriot date back to the medieval period. Some of these are the Legal Code of the Kingdom of Cyprus, the Assizes of Jerusalem, the Chronicles of Leontios Machaeras and Georgios Vustronios, and a collection of sonnets in the manner of Francesco Petrarca. In the past 100 years, the dialect has been used in poetry. It is also traditionally used in folk songs and tau sigma iota alpha tau tau iota sigma tau alpha, and a tradition of pi Omicron Iota Eta Tau Alpha Rho Eta Epsilon Sigma. In the late 70s, Minister of Education Chrysostomos A. Sophianos upgraded the status of Cypriot by introducing it in education. More recently, it has been used in music, e.g., in reggae by Haji Mike and in rap by several Cypriot hip-hop groups, such as Dimiagoines Antilipsis. Locally produced television shows, usually comedies or soap operas, make use of the dialect, e.g., Verat Gaitanoi or Oitakoi. The 2006 feature film Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest features actor Jimmy Rusunes arguing in Cypriot with another crew member speaking Jabrizlitja about a captain's hat they find in the sea. Peter Policarpo routinely spoke in Cypriot in his role as Chris Theodopolopoulos in the British television comedy series Birds of a Feather. In episode 04 season 01 of American TV series The Leftovers, which aired on the 20th of July 2014, Alex Malau's character uses the dialect saying Epsilon Kappa Alpha Tau Alpha Lambda Alpha Beta Alpha Sigma Epsilon. Today, Cypriot Greek is the only variety of modern Greek with a significant presence of spontaneous use online, including blogs and internet forums, and there exists a variant of Greeklish that reflects its distinct phonology. Bibliography.